Hi, boys and girls. Today I have Cowboy Camp. It is written by Tammy Sauer and illustrated by Mike Reed. Some of you might have gone to soccer camp where you would go every day in the summer and learn some skills. Some of you might have gone to a cheer camp or a football camp or other kinds of activities like that. So this one is about Cowboy Camp, to learn skills for being a cowboy. This is called a corral. A corral is a fence in an oval or a square shape where they put the animals in. It says, Avery kicked the toe of his boot in the dirt. He looked at everyone else at Cowboy Camp and he knew he was all wrong. His belt buckle was too big, and his hat was too small, his boots were too red, even his name was wrong. The other boys had tough names like Hank or Jimmy Jean. Whoever heard of a cowboy named Avery, he thought. I don't know, he looks like he fits in. Howdy y'all, I'm Cowboy Dan and I'm about to turn you little ragamuffins into cowboys. Real cowboys, said the realest looking cowboy Avery had ever seen. By the time I finish with you, you'll be acting, walking, and talking like honest to goodness cowboys. First things first though, buckaroos, it's chow time. There's enough grits and beans here to give y'all a belly ache. Grits is corn, and beans, well, you know, we eat beans like in burritos or in chili. Everybody dug in. It wasn't but a minute later that Avery discovered, he couldn't stomach a single bite of cowboy food. He had to eat cheese and crackers instead. Whoever heard of a cowboy who didn't like grits and beans, he thought. Now that you've got your fill, it's horse riding time, Cowboy Dan announced. Let's hit the stables. This reminds me of some of you guys when you don't like food at first. He didn't like the grits and beans. Everyone saddled up. It wasn't but a minute later that Avery discovered he was allergic to horses. Make sure it's a vampire sneeze. Sneezed Avery as he climbed onto his horse. Doesn't like the grub? Allergic to horses? He had to ride a cow instead. Whoever heard of a cowboy who was allergic to horses, he thought. All right, fellas, it's time to round up some cattle. Let me teach y'all how to lasso, Cowboy Dan said. Can you guess that lasso means take a rope and make a circle and capture an animal? Everybody started twisting and twirling their lassos. It wasn't but a minute later that Avery discovered he had a bad case of rope burn. He had to practice with yarn instead. Whoever heard of a cowboy who got rope burn? You don't want rope burn. That's where it makes your hand get really hot because it rubbed too much on your hand. That night, after all the other cowboy campers turned in for some shut-eye, Avery sat outside his tent and tried to think cowboy thoughts. It wasn't but a minute later that Avery discovered he wasn't alone. Out of the shadows stepped the meanest looking cowboy Avery had ever seen. Kid, psst, kid, a gruff voice said. Who, me? Asked Avery. Yeah, you. I'm Black Bart, and I'm here to put a stop to Cowboy Camp. Cowboy Dan and his gang of good cowboys are making it too hard to be a bad guy. You better tell me, kid, where can I find Cowboy Dan? Avery had to think fast. He couldn't let anything happen to Cowboy Dan and his cowboy camp. Sir, this isn't cowboy camp, it's, space camp. Black Bart squinted his eyes. Are you trying to fool me? Sir, asked Avery. Do I look like cowboy material? Black Bart took a step back and sized Avery up. I don't know, but I aim to find out. Here, eat this. What do you think he gave him? Grits and beans, that's right. Black Bart pulled a can of beans out of his saddlebag. All cowboys eat beans. Avery gulped. He took the beans and he gave him a taste, but right away he coughed and wheezed. You know, that's that kind of, yeah, okay, sorry, we won't do that anymore. Maybe you ain't a cowboy. You don't seem to like cowboy food, said Black Bart. Let me see you ride my horse. All cowboys ride horses. Do you remember the fact about our character? What is he? Allergic to horses. Avery swallowed hard. As he swung his leg over the saddle, he began to sneeze and sneeze. Maybe you ain't a cowboy. You don't seem to ride horses, said Black Bart. Let me see you twirl my rope. All cowboys know how to lasso. Avery took a deep breath. As he grabbed the rope, remember what happened earlier? He yelped, ouch, this hurts. Look at his poor hand, still red. Little feller, you're no cowboy. All cowboys eat beans, ride horses, and twirl lassos. This place can't possibly be cowboy camp, Black Bart said. Rustling rattlesnakes. I must have made a wrong turn somewhere. I gotta go. It'll be daybreak soon, and time's a-wasting. Isn't that pretty? Sun coming up. Do you think Avery might have saved the day, sending the bad guy away? It wasn't but a minute later that Cowboy Dan and the other cowboy campers came out of their tents. Avery, you're about the bravest darn cowboy I ever laid eyes on, said Cowboy Dan. No one but a real cowboy could outsmart the likes of Black Bart the way you did. Look, they're all happy that he did that. Outsmarting the bad guy. Avery grinned. His smile was as bright as his too big belt buckle. He felt brave. He felt amazing. He felt like a real, honest to goodness cowboy. Have you ever tried something that you weren't good at the first couple of times you tried? Did it make you feel like you couldn't do it? And then did you find a way? Think about a time that you couldn't do something and how you were finally able to get around it. Just like Avery, he couldn't be a real cowboy at first, and then he realized with the help of his teacher and his friends, he could. All right, we'll see you soon.